My name is Michelle Heck, and I'll be giving an informational speech on grief awareness. When it comes to grief awareness, we need to understand that grief is the natural reaction to death and to any kind of other loss. And we need to understand that everyone grieves in a little bit of a different way. So we also need to understand that everyone will experience some kind of loss, whether it's the death of a family member, which we'll be talking about today, the death of a friend or pet, as well as like any kind of loss, whether it's a prized possession or so forth. And then I've served as a grief facilitator for 4 years. And in my time, I've worked with a lot of different ages, and I also have experienced a lot of different coping environments. So we'll talk about the different ages of and how they react to grief, as well as what it takes to build a coping environment. When it comes to the different ages that I've worked with, I've experienced that kids the ages of 0 to 3 are often in depth with acknowledging that there has been a difference. They might not understand the difference, but they might be in class, they'll see that someone has mom and dad where they might not. They'll also start to regress in behavior a little bit. So if they were a 2 or 3 year old starting to walk, they might start to crawl, or they might want to be bottle fed more often than regular fed. And then they also might start to be a little bit more demanding than usual. When it comes to kids between the ages of 3 and 5, they'll start to notice that they don't understand that death is permanent. So they might think that, oh, like mom and dad went on a trip, they'll come back at some point. So we need to understand that we need to be really short and simple when it comes to explaining what had happened. And we also need to let them know that mom or dad did die. Like mom and dad are not coming back. And then when they get dropped off different places, you might see kids between the ages of 3 and 5 will start to act up a little bit because they're afraid that mom or dad may not come back. They're afraid of people leaving. So we'll see this a lot in like daycares or kind of kindergartens where there's that kind of attachment where they're afraid that mom and dad won't come back. And then when it comes to ages 6 to 9, they understand that death had happened, but not necessarily the permanence of death. They start to grasp that death can't be reversed, but they don't understand that they might not be able to come back from the dead. And then kids ages 6 to 9 will also want to ask a little bit more details, like when and where did mom die, how did mom die, and so on. They might also start to have different fears, like what if I'm next? Or what if mom dies too? And then they'll start to have these kind of fears circling around in their head. And then kids ages 6 to 9 will also start to blame themselves, even if they had nothing to do with the death. They might think like, what if I was a better kid? What if I was there more? What if I did my chores? And so they'll start to blame themselves a little bit more. And then when it comes to ages 9 to 12, they'll start to understand the permanence of death, that death is the end of life. They'll start to ask a little bit more vivid details, like what kind of weapon they used, what were they doing that night. They might want to see pictures of the accident, and they'll start to understand practical issues. And when I come across me practical issues, I mean like who's going to pick me from school, who's going to do the cooking or cleaning. So they'll start to have these things in their head, and then they'll understand the idea of change, similar to like life before and after the death of a family member. They'll start to see change like the seasons. And then when it comes to teens and young adults, we need to understand that they need time to be kids and to be young adults. Oftentimes you might have heard the phrase man at their household, so we don't want these individuals to think that they have to step up, that they have to be the man, that they have to take on responsibilities that aren't appropriate for them. And when it comes to being a teen or young adult, we start to confide in our peers more rather than our family members, which is okay and perfectly normal. And when it comes to a coping environment, we need to make sure that we practice empathy. We need to try to understand where that person is coming from, and if we can't understand because we haven't gone through something similar, we need to have that willingness to try to understand. And we need to have that level of acceptance. We need to accept other people no matter what their thoughts or actions may be, because when people grieve, they're not in their right state of mind. We need to be sensitive in regards to their feelings and build a warm environment. If you come to me telling me you're grieving, I'm not going to cross my arms, roll my eyes because it's an inconvenience to me. I'm going to be welcoming, being open so you feel comfortable to come to me and build that warmth. When it comes to being genuine, I'm going to let you know that I care about you, and that's why I'm here and that's why I'm listening. It's not a chore. It's not something I'm doing just as charity, extra credit. I care about you and I want to help you through this time. We also need to develop a strong trust. When it comes to trust, you need to be consistent. So if you come to me in the beginning, I will let you know that I will be with you through your whole grief journey, beginning, middle, or end. And then when it comes to grief, I need to have that level of immediacy that you're here with me in the now. I will acknowledge your feelings, not push it off till when it's more convenient for me. And when it comes to humility, I need to understand that you're the expert of your own grief, that I will never completely understand or know more about grief than you do because you're the one that's directly experiencing it. And from there, we need to try to build that level of patience. So when it comes to patience, I mean, if you're not ready to open up, then I will take that time, we'll talk about something else. Or if you're wanting to open up and you've talked about it a lot the past couple of days, I'm not gonna tell you to stop, I'm gonna be patient and listen to what you have to say. And then when it comes to having hope, like I wanna help you build that courage, like I wanna build you up, I wanna let you know that it'll get easier and that life will get better and that you can be happy again. And then when it comes to having heart, we need to do everything with our full heart. That way we can fully move forward. So when we're talking about moving forward, I'm not telling you to move on to let go that your feelings don't matter anymore. I'm telling you to move forward with your everyday life and have heart in everything that you do. And then in conclusion, grief awareness can highly impact your peers when they're grieving. And likewise, if you build that bond, they'll be able to help you when you're grieving. And this will also heighten your emotional intelligence since you'll know how to act in these behaviors. And then we also need to acknowledge that grief is normal and healthy. Grief is a normal reaction to loss. It's okay to feel grief. It's okay to be coping and mourning in that time of loss. And that a coping environment will help with grieving. So knowing how the different ages will respond to grief and knowing how to build that coping environment will help you grieve in a healthy manner. And then that would be it. Thank you so much.